Okay, we are here with our student Rita to talk about substituting and testing values in inequalities. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do some starter examples and then we'll do a more challenging example. Before we get started, let's just remind ourselves what substituting means. So substituting means replacing the variable, in this case it's in an inequality, with a value, like a number. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting values in to see if they're true for the inequality. Okay, let's do the first one. So what value makes this inequality true? And it probably won't be just one value, it'll be values like it's written here. So the inequality is x is greater than 10. So what we can do is we can create a table here of values, and we can test different values in the first column right here. And we can say, okay, if we put 12 in, we can substitute it in. So what we're going to be doing is putting that 12 in for the x, and it says 12 is greater than 10. And is that true?
Yes.
Yep, so that's true. Now we could put in 3 for x, and you could say 3 is greater than 10. Is that true?
No.
So we put false. And then this one's a little bit tricky. You could put 10 in, so you have 10 is greater than 10. Now, that might seem like, well, that's close enough, but is 10 really greater than 10?
No.
No, it's not. So that's also false. So what you can do with an inequality, this is kind of like you've done with equations, but with an inequality, there's going to be more than one answer. And you can kind of try to get to that point where it's the cutoff point, and in this case, it's 10. Now, this is a really simple example. Let's do another one here that might be a little bit more challenging. So, what values make this inequality true? A plus 7 is less than or equal to 9. So same thing, we'll create a table here, and we'll test some different values. I like to test 0 because it's usually pretty easy to calculate. So we'll go ahead and we'll take our original equation, or inequality right here, and we'll substitute 0 in for the variable a. So we get 0 plus 7 is less than or equal to 9. And then what's 0 plus 7?
7.
Yeah, so 7 is less than or equal to 9. Is that true?
Yes.
Yep, it's true. So then we could try 10. So then we substitute 10 in for a here. So we have 10 plus 7 is less than or equal to 9. So that's what we've got here. 10 plus 7 is?
17.
17 is less than or equal to 9. Is that true?
No.
Nope, so we put false here. And then finally, let's try 2. So 2 plus 7 is less than or equal to 9. 2 plus 7 is 9. So is 9 less than or equal to 9?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's equal to 9. So that's kind of the point where you're at the edge of kind of what is true. Okay, now let's go over and try a more challenging example. Okay, so this one is 3x minus 5 is greater than 10. So unlike the two starter examples, this one's going to be kind of a little bit harder probably for you to do in your head as far as what the obvious answers are going to be or not be. So you will use the same method. We'll set up a table here, and I've put in a few test values, and what I want you to do, Rita, is I want you to tell me what I should write, okay? So the first step is, as always, is going to be to substitute in for the variable. So with this first one, we want to substitute 0 in for the variable in this inequality. So can you tell me, what should I write here?
So 3 times 0 minus 5 is greater than 10.
Okay, very good. Okay, and then we can go ahead and simplify the left-hand side. So what's 3 times 0?
0.
So we have 0 minus 5 is greater than 10. And then what's 0 minus 5?
Minus 5.
So we have negative 5 is greater than 10. Is that true?
No.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and write false over there. Okay, now let's try the next value, which is 10. So what should I write down in this cell here in the table?
Let's see. 3 times 10 minus 5 is greater than 10.
Okay, so let's go ahead and write that. Very good. And then what's 3 times 10?
30.
Okay, so we have 30 minus 5 is greater than 10. And what's 30 minus 5?
25.
25 is greater than 10. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll write true over here. What should I write in the next row down?
3 times 5 minus 5 is greater than 10.
Okay, very good. And now what's 3 times 5?
15.
So 15 minus 5 is greater than 10. And what's 15 minus 5?
10.
10. So is 10 greater than 10?
No.
No, it's not. So that one is going to be false. Okay, so it might seem obvious, but by testing different values in these inequalities, you can figure out the values that are true, that make the inequality true, and you can figure out the values that don't make the inequality true, and that'll give you an idea of what some of the solutions are. Make sense?
Yep.
All right, great job.